Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We are in episode 2 of the series Client Coach Communication. And we're going to talk about that initial programming. So we talked last time briefly about just that initial contact and how you should even be looking to win each other over as a coach and client by being thoughtful, preemptive in terms of providing information and communication and structure. But let's say, Adam, we're now setting up the programming. So I know I have my methods that change over time. They evolve with how I think clients respond best. But I will create some initial programming and have some certain forms, and then I'll go through kind of the next steps. But a lot of people shop coaches, they switch, they bail out because they feel like they are not treated as an individual. You know, how many times do you hear somebody say, well, he gave me the exact same program as somebody else, or she did this. And people have to understand that when you deal with hundreds of clients, you do have certain forms and templates and processes that do overlap. So I know for me, when I'm initially going through programming, Adam, I'm looking at every detail for sure. I'm going through their history. I have a detailed intake questionnaire, which is going through, orthopedic, health history, those kind of things. And I will follow up with questions. Even before I give them the programming, I may have a list of questions I want to address. And I don't know if a lot of people put that much thought into it because we're all busy and it's like, oh, this new client signed up, I got to get their programming out, and we just kind of rush the process. How much time do you spend in preparing before you even hit that step?
Yeah, you always lose if you rush those situations. You want to review the whole history with that client. And just out of context, I'm answering this in terms of if that person switched from another coach. That's where you can really dig in and kind of meet a client where they are and just kind of find out, well, what were some things that weren't individualized for you that bother you? And just recently, I had a girl who was, she was working with some local IFBB pro, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a good coach. And this person was just killing them with HIIT cardio. So they kind of took that golden ticket of HIIT cardio is great, and they were just blasting them with it. So one of the first things I did, I said, this is going to be really hard for you, but I'm having you take 3 off days, and I'm even raising your food intake, and I'm actually giving you 3 refeed meals right out the gates because I wanted to focus on recovery and kind of have a fresh start with her. And she was a little hesitant about that, but what I was looking for in that was her ability to say, yeah, I'd be willing to do that, because if she's not and she starts paying me for that first month, we're just going to be at a standstill together. So I almost like a little bit of confrontation in terms of this is going to be hard for me to do, but I'm willing to do it.
Yeah. Well, you described 2 things there, which is number 1, understanding the physiology behind it and what their experience has been so that you can communicate on that level, where again, a lot of people are just stamping out programming and they truly are somewhat cookie cutter. But also the psychology of just knowing what their experience has been. And I know you as a person, so you're not asking what their frustrations have been because you're going to then try and make sure you become that. You're not morphing yourself into somebody else. But you're doing it because you know what their sensitivities are at that point. You know what they've really, been, perceiving as a slight or a disservice. And so you can make sure that you're explaining things in probably a better way. And it all comes back down to just communication, just literally having human to human conversation.
Absolutely. Another thing when I'm presenting and asking for that information is, did they present that to their last coach? Because if they didn't, it's more so I know with that person, I probably need to reach out and ask more questions and not just assume they're going to tell me everything.
I literally had what I think is the best compliment of my life as a coach the other day. Somebody typed back to me, I'm sorry, but I've just never had someone show this much interest in me. How does that feel? I mean, when you can say, wow, what do the rest of the coaches in this industry do? When somebody would volunteer that as a statement?
Yeah, that's always a great compliment, and I think a lot of people are blown away what we do in just the beginning of their programming, even when they've already paid their invoice. How we dig in and just really tailor everything to the person versus just here's their height and body weight, so here's your macros.
Absolutely, which is what we're going to talk about next. So you guys stay tuned, and we're going to roll right into programming as we discuss client coach communication. We'll see you next time.